Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. First of all, let me express my deepest gratitude for those of you who have subscribed to me just for the mere reason of knowing me. Thanks guys, you're the best. Now, for those of you who do not know me, I am Kim Octaviano, to be long. Let me repeat that. So I am Kim. Most of you I may have known as acquaintances, schoolmates, workmates. Well, definitely workmates. Some of you have been my students. You know me very well. This might come as a surprise for you, me having a channel of my own. Just believe in me, give me a chance. I will explain later why I'm doing this, and like I said, very thankful for those of you who would like spending most of their time just taking their time to basically watch me, see what I have in store, basically just giving me a chance. So like I said, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kim. I am 27 years old. I come from the Philippines. I come from a quiet little town called San Fabian. It's a nice town located in between a mountain range and then the sea. Very nice. You should try it there. It's far enough from the main city that it's got its basically have the province feel, the legit province feel, but not too far that you're not close to the basic amenities. So just at the right place. I love it there. It's a sea town. So there I left my family. I have a sister and a younger brother. I still have my parents, thank God for them, and I have my grandmother on my father's side. As you all know, I am a registered nurse in the Philippines and in the United Kingdom. By residence, I am a Pangasinense, but I do find my roots. My grandfather from my father's side is Ilonggo. Some of you might have listened, might have heard it in the way I speak, and I'm not quite sure, but there's a slight chance that I might be a percentage Igorot, but I don't know. So let me add to that my educational background. I graduated Bachelor of Science in Nursing 2007 at Colegio de Dagupan. I am proud to be part of the pioneer batch, the very first batch of nurses produced by that school, by my alma mater, which is no small feat because in that specific year, that we graduated, basically beat the passing percentage of all the other big schools that were around us. So it's quite a feat. We were about 70 back then, but then that's a big number for those nursing schools who were just starting up, and it was really hard to start up and go against those established nursing schools back then. So we're really proud. There's a certain bit of pride for our batch. You may not be in contact much, but we share a similar bond every time we meet each other. Now, spent secondary and primary in a small school located in Dagupan. So this school is St. Albert the Great School, which is my alma mater as well. I spent most of my years there. Basically just spent about 2 years away from primary school, but most of it from grade 3 to grade 6, from first year to fourth year. Yes, my dear watchers, my dear viewers from outside the Philippines, we still do that. We still did that on my time, but we're in K-12 now, so we've caught up. So other than that, so that's my educational background. I also took a master's, Master of Arts in Nursing, and finished my thesis. So I'm full-fledged man. Most of you didn't know that. That's basically it. I don't have much to say about that. Work background. After I graduated 2007, I took up a job as a volunteer nurse in Medical Centrum Dagupan. Spent about 6 months in there, 6 months straight just doing the job, and then in between I managed to land a temporary job at North Cap Review Center as one of their, let's just say, assistant staff. I haven't been a full-fledged, wasn't taken as a full-fledged staff yet. It's a bit complicated thing to explain because in between, so all in total, in Medical Centrum I spent about 2 years, but in between I was also doing jobs with North Cap Review Center. So let's just say for 6 months I've been an assistant provisional temporary staff in North Cap until I was offered a permanent post in a review center as a nurse staff. So when I say nurse staff, we basically are in charge of students who have just graduated and are preparing to take up the national licensure exam in that year. So we handle documents, we take care of lecturers, and to some degree we will even do lectures of our own through rationalization. And sometimes we just take a day and discuss a certain subject. So we were given topics at that time, and whichever topic was given to you, may it be medical, surgical, obstetrics, psych, or anything else, then you as a nurse staff, since you're in charge of that certain venue, then you would discuss to people who have just graduated. Now mind you, this is a very stressful time for me because for those of you who have known me before me, a long time ago when I was in primary and secondary, I was not the talking type. Definitely not the talking type. So just imagine my horror when the first real job that I had was talking to a minimum of 150 people in front of the stage. So no space for stage fright. It was trial by fire. Now anyways, because I was taking a bit more serious role in my job as a nurse staff in that review center, I had to actually quit my job at Medical Centrum, the first hospital that I've worked with, just to focus on my job. Some of you might know about it, some of you may have not, but something happened with that original review center that I worked with, and they had to restructure and form a new review center, which Mind Movers Review Center, of which they kindly took me back in and continued the same job that I had, like I never left. But of course, since I've been there for about almost more than a year now, I've had a bit more responsibility. So besides being a nurse staff, taking care of the students, taking care of the reviewers, taking care of the lecturer, what I did, I was given a bit more, let's say, creative freedom. I was able to make my own questions, make my own examinations, lecture for pretty much half a day, whole day, which really at that time was more of an addition for you to become a full-fledged lecturer, which is one of my greatest regrets, because my friends, my workmates at that time were really pushing me to become one. But then I still had a bit of a doubt in myself. Remember, I wasn't the one who was really the talking type. I wasn't really the one who was the friendly type, the one who could hold the conversation, the one who could hold the crowd. So I never thought that I would be able to really believe that I can teach these people on my own for about 8 hours a day. So sadly I declined and pretty much stuck as a nurse staff rationalizer, nurse staff exam rationalizer, and that stuff. Now the review center job at that time was both parts real competitive and a bit unstable. Mind you, the review season only lasts for about maximum of 3 months to 2 months, twice a year for each exam that students were having. So at that time, the usual exams would be about every June and every December. So if you worked at a review center from April, May, June, you would have a proper job. It's an everyday job where you get paid every day, and that's the same as from October, November, December. You get paid for about 3 months. The problem is the months in between. You do get paid, but sometimes, especially at that time when it was a bit tough, competition was real tough. We had like one big review center that was dominating the city, and another one coming from the metro that was starting to gain ground. It was tough, and we didn't have that same clout that we had when we were the first review center. So imagine earning for 3 months, stretching it out for another 3 months, then earning for the next month, stretching it out for the rest of the year. So it was high paying when we had the job, but then it was real unstable. So I made a very important business decision, and I told my friend at that time, the one that I work with at the venue, that I might have to take a more stable job and decide to like maybe apply as a clinical instructor, because that you have a contract, you know that you're gonna get paid for the whole year, because it's a whole year job. And I had to leave. The review center life is a fun life. For those who have become my friends in that review center, I've made the greatest of friends, had the greatest of experiences, had the worst of experiences, but all in all, it was a roller coaster ride, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Now, I had to go back to my alma mater, apply as a clinical instructor, and it's a different kind of beast. I mean, it's one thing to be teaching people who already know what you know, and it's sort of just re-explaining things to them. But if you go and teach as a clinical instructor, most of the time you come from step one. You're teaching these students, these fresh minds that sometimes came straight out of secondary school, something that you've learned and have mastered for 4 or 5 years now, and it takes a bit of flexibility to try and wrap their minds around what you're trying to say. Struggled for 1 to 2 months. I've stayed as a clinical instructor in my alma mater for about a year. Then after the second, third month, got my stride, and it was all easy from there. Like I said, it was a different experience. It was a great experience. I'm the type of person who takes great lessons from all experiences, good or bad, that I've had. Some unforeseen reason, sadly, for some unforeseen reason, I had to leave my alma mater, but I didn't leave the job. So I became a clinical instructor, transferred to another school that I loved so much because of how they treated me and how they made me part of their family. So you have La Salette School in Dagupan as well. I've stayed there for about 5 years, taught all sorts of subjects, became a clinical instructor in the hospital, managed to become a dean for about a year or so. Pretty new experience, pretty exhilarating experience. I didn't even dream in my wildest dreams when I became a nurse that I would become a dean, but there you are. And then at that time, nursing had a certain problem. Nurses, our batch, produced some of the largest number of nurses from the Philippines. And then after that, we started losing hope because some of us graduated, spent all this money, no job in the Philippines. As much as people from around the world know the nurses from the Philippines as international nurses, growing everywhere, doing everything. It takes a lot of effort and resources to be able to go out of the country. And if you don't have those resources, you're stuck at home. You're stuck where you live, and where you live there isn't much opportunity to become a nurse. So yeah, there was a shortage of nurses at that time. There was a shortage of people, new students who were willing to take up nursing. Now, the school that I went to is a small school of nursing compared to all the other big schools, big colleges of nursing around my territory, around my city. Sorry. So student enrollment dwindled up to a point where we didn't have any more students that are incoming for the next semester. So yeah, I'm basically a dean without a school. So financial decision, you can't blame them. The school decided to basically close the school of nursing down of where I was working. Now, I didn't panic, because even before that happened, we kind of anticipated it. The school offered me a job to teach senior high, and I had to teach caregiving. And lo and behold, surprise, surprise, I had a caregiving certificate, which was important at that time because, like I said earlier, the country was converting from a, what do you call it, primary, secondary, and tertiary educational program to a K-12 program, which is a bit more parallel or the same with all the other countries. So it was the very first time that K-12, grade 11 and grade 12 have been introduced, and everyone was still wondering what to do. I sort of future-proofed myself by having a caregiver certificate, and that put me in the very unique spot of transitioning from nursing to caregiving. Fun fact, I took up a caregiving course because I was trying to go to Canada, which is a whole different story. But then, yeah, long story short, I taught senior high for about a year. Would have stayed, but then there was so much, again, uncertainty with subject, uncertainty with the course, which made me decide that I'm already growing old. I can't stay in this job if it's this uncertain, and I might end up not having anything to hold on to after 2-3 years. So respectfully, I had to decline their offer for me to stay. And again, business decision, financial decision. So what do I do with my life? Which led me to decide that I have to get myself ready. So what I did, I took up all of the requirements that I could have had. Like I said earlier, Canada was my target. So caregiver certificate, check. Another requirement would be your IELTS. I've started reading. I've started applying. So what I did was I enrolled in an IELTS review center. Thankfully, they offered unlimited review for about a year, which would fit very nicely in my schedule because I didn't have any. And if I wanted to, I could go there. But then, unforeseen circumstances prevented me from going to Canada. First of which was I didn't really have a direct way to go there at the moment, resource-wise, network-wise, and actually had one way of going there. Kind of got scammed, which is a whole different story. Maybe I'll make that into another video in the next time. So ultimately, I had everything prepared, and then the dream of Canada fell through. I was at a loss at that time, but then like with some miracle, my friend from the previous review center that I worked on called me over Facebook, out of the blue. I think we haven't spoken for about 6 months, but then I got a call from her. I had the time, so I answered. And then she told me that she had this relative who knew that they were taking up nurses for the UK. And I said, yeah. Honestly, I was thinking about that, and I said, I don't really have any plans at the moment. Is UK really part of my plan? But then this was a very good friend of mine. I trusted her with my life before and until now. So who am I to question when she says that I need to do this? So without even thinking, I said, yeah, give me the requirements, and then let's see what we can do. And ultimately that led me to here. So before I go on with my video, I would like to take this opportunity to thank that friend of mine. I know she treats me like a brother, but she will always be a mom to me. She was the head of the review center venue which I worked with, and I spent like 2, 3, 4 years with her in the review center business. So Mom Arlene, thank you very much. To start with, if it wasn't for you, if you didn't have, don't know, the concern or the friendship that you have for me to think about me at that time, you had hundreds of other people that you could have called and offered this opportunity. But then the first one, I'm not sure if it's the first one, but you at least gave me the opportunity to try and apply. All of that added up, and that brought me here. So thank you with all my heart, from the bottom of my heart. My gratitude would not be enough. I couldn't express my gratitude enough just to say how much I thank you. I know I don't call you often, but then you know how it is with us. I really thank you. All of this wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for you. She's doing very well now. Miss Arlene, she is also here in the UK, and she's, yeah, I won't say anything more about her, but she's doing very well, and she deserves it for all the kindness that she's offered, not only to me but for all the other people that she's touched. She deserves all the success that she's been having, and like I said, thank you, Miss Arlene, thank you very much. So long story short, she asked me to apply. I applied. I tried IELTS. Took me a while. To decide to take up IELTS because, yeah, I remembered. Just before I had to go, I had to be able to show that I have at least a year's hospital experience. On a later video, I would give you the requirements on how to get to the UK. I'm just telling you my story of how I actually came to the UK. So I had to go back to the hospital after 7 years of teaching, and after a long time, I'm a newbie again, which is a humbling experience because no matter how high you've been, no matter how high you've gone, if you move to another place, you're a newbie, and you have to have, I'm not saying that I am humble, but you have to have a certain amount of humility to be able to do that, or else you won't survive. So I spent some years in that hospital, and until I was finishing, I took up IELTS, had to give some serious time in that, maybe a whole year just to focus on my IELTS. And then thankfully, one hit, I passed, and everything was going well. Then to go to the UK at that time, you had to first take up your IELTS. Well, before that, you had to go to an interview. It was easy. The interview was real easy. So you only have to pass some of your requirements. They will email you back, and they will schedule an interview with you at a certain date. You have to just appear. They will give you 2 sets of interviews. There's very little reason for you not to pass those interviews. I'm not saying that no one failed. There was a couple that failed in my batch, but you had to be like, they had to have like a real strong reason not to take you. But if you show yourself competent, if you show yourself if you're worth the number of years that you have in your experience, then there's no reason that you'd fail that interview. So you go to an interview, you pass your IELTS, and then thirdly, you have to pass a computer-based test that was given by the UK government. Unfortunately, I failed the first one. So after I failed the first one, I thought, okay, this might be saying something to me. Now, it didn't really hurt me that much because all the exams that I've taken, I had to pay for it, but then they will be refunding me. IELTS, no problem because I paid for it, but I'm expecting it to be refunded to me. Now, I failed the first CBT exam, and I was thinking, do I have enough money to do another exam? Take note, I'm working in a hospital again, and though I've taken up a senior nurse job, it doesn't really pay that much. To my friends in the Philippines and even around the world, you know how much they pay us. I'm sorry, whoever is in the Philippine government that would read this, that would watch this, you know how much you pay us, and it's not enough. It's not even enough for us to be able to pay for an exam to go abroad. But anyways, let me digress. Yeah, so good thing I didn't resign from my senior nurse job at that time when I failed the exam. Good thing that I already resigned. Sorry, I'm getting the facts wrong, but I already resigned because I was trying to fully focus on applying. But then when I failed the first exam, I thought, let's take a step back. Maybe in 6 months I'll try and take the exam again, maybe save up some money. 6 months passed, 8 months passed. I didn't feel like I had the confidence to take the exam again. It was 6,000 pesos, so that's roughly about 100 pounds, 120 pounds at that time, to be able to take the exam again. Money that I didn't have. So it really didn't feel like I would want to do this again. And I was thinking of, was there another way that I could go that I wouldn't have to pay? And I was thinking about Middle East. I have a friend there, he can hook me up. Even though application is hard, if you can find a way for the company to actually look for you, it would be easy to go there and have a friend. I have a good friend that would have helped me. Funny thing was, he was able to get me recommendation for one of his nurses to take me, give me a chance to get an interview, and I already got myself ready to go that path because I was thinking maybe UK isn't for me. Now, one day I wasn't doing anything. I had this lady from the agency that was applying to in the UK just call me up and was asking, hi, how are you? When are you planning to take your exam again? And I said, I don't know, I'm trying to review again, and I'm actually thinking maybe I can take the exam again while I'm abroad. I don't really have the money, and I was thinking if I go Middle East, make some money there, take the exam there, maybe in a year or two might be able to go to UK finally. And then she said, no, don't do that. Tell you what, just try and find some money for this one last exam. Give it one last try. Give it one last try and see how you do. You can't go to another path that will just distract you, and when you get there, the dream of UK, the possibility of UK would start going away or disappearing because you'll already be earning from another job and you wouldn't want to leave. So I said, she was a real, despite being someone from an agency, she started to become a real dear friend to me because of the communication that we've had with all the application that I was doing. So I said, yeah, okay, I'll try and find some funds just to take an exam again. And well, long story short, I passed the second time. So for that point, Mamvel from my agency, wherever you are, I'm not sure if you're with the agency yet, but Mamvel, thank you very much for pushing me. I don't know what the reason was. It doesn't matter. You pushed me, and I know that besides me, you were happiest when I passed, and you were the first one I told that I passed. And I thank you so much for that, for pushing me, for wanting me to just push through. So long story short, I passed all the exams, passed all my papers, and then I'm here. And honestly, I'm having the time of my life. So because I'm having the time of my life, which leads me to one of the points of this video again. Why am I doing this? Yeah, that was a bit of a clickbait, isn't it? I didn't know if I spent enough time saying how I went to the UK, but I might focus more on that when I go to the next video, maybe make the next video because of this. So why am I doing this? Why am I streaming? Am I just caught in the bandwagon of streaming gaming? Yeah, maybe I was just caught, maybe I was interested, maybe I was just bored, maybe all of the above. But for some reason, despite me knowing myself as a person who doesn't really talk, who just watches, who's rarely at the front of the group, for all the years that I've been teaching, for all of the years that I've been at the front line, I kind of miss it. And frankly, my role as a nurse at the moment, it's not that I'm saying that it's bad, but when your body gets to a certain routine, teaching, talking, explaining things, your body sorts of look for it. Not necessarily teaching, talking to someone. So I figured, why not give streaming a try? I've always wanted to try something new. I've always wanted to have an outlet, and then kill two birds with one stone. I love playing, I love gaming, and streaming and gaming is a big thing right now. So merge two things together, might get something, might not, but then why not try? We couldn't fail if we don't try, but we could succeed if we do, isn't it? So yeah, so several things. This is an outlet. At least I have someone in this kind of job. Get ready to just listen. No one needs to hear your opinion most of the time. Your clients just need someone to listen to. When I say this job, being a nurse, gives me a reason to play. Gives me a reason to play more and more and more. And three, what was it again? And then three, learning a new skill. Then lastly, fourth, maybe if this channel blows up, maybe I can make it big. Not really big, but as a alternate means of income. So that's how it is. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much. And just to finish with, like I said, I'm new to this. You might know this better than me, but then that's why I would like to ask for your help. On my side, what else is in store? I would try and make some lectures, mini lectures. Like I told you, I really miss teaching. Might make instruction videos. I also wanted to share you some of my passions. So what are the things that I've ended up doing here in the UK? So this isn't from the UK, but this didn't start when I arrived in the UK, but like I said, I was passionate about gaming. I passionate about fish, aquariums. Oddly enough, I've I've got caught into audiophile stuff. Obviously I don't have the means yet, but it's a deep tunnel. I got caught in it, trying to control myself. So speakers, headphones, other stuff. Plants, lots and lots of plants. The amount of plants, flowering plants, beans, tomatoes, every other thing that you plant here in the UK is just astounding. And just the sight of all the flowers that you can plant in your house amazes me. And I just got into it the very first month that we transferred to a house. What else is my passion? Let's see. New passion, streaming. So yeah, those things, I would try and make some videos about those things. Forgive me if the video quality or the actual content quality is that poor. Like I said, this is my first live video like this. I might have to learn some stuff about editing just to make it better. Just wanted to throw it out there, just so that I already have some content which I can work on, which I can build on. And then lastly, to end with, thank you for reaching this far. And if you have any comments, requests, or reactions, please hit me down at the comments, and I would gladly try and answer all of it, respond to it. Or if you wanted any particular topic that you want me to talk about, any particular topic you want me to teach or educate people about it, I'll try my best to learn about it and share it with you. So with that, I bid you adieu. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.